Great. So, well, thank you so much for sharing your work. I really enjoyed it, and this series I thought in particular was so engaging and fun, and also, of course, very timely, right? Maybe I could. I have a few thoughts, that I would love to sort of share. Maybe I'll actually start by just saying that I think I am very interested in the idea of political community. Um, and I think that the whole idea of giving someone a sticker that says, I voted today, is really brilliant. And and I think it kind of conveys these ideas of world making and democracy and visibility in public space and so on. But obviously, political community can also be exclusionary.
Yeah, that's what I feel like when I first saw the, I voted sticker, and I'm not part of them. And and last year, I remember, Jesse, do you mind share do the screen share of the presentation? Yes. So I remember, it was last year or in 2018, at first time I saw this. And I'm a Chinese, so the Chinese is in the middle. So I immediately see the Chinese line, and I realize, okay, it's about voting. And and like you said, it is very exclusionary that I me myself feel like very excluded in all of this like election. I remember probably was a midterm election that I first saw the voting sticker. I realized there's such a thing because probably before I never paid attention to we do have the and people are actually pay more attention to vote since Trump got elected 4 years ago. Yeah. So and I made because me myself, of course, I cannot vote, and that's gonna be my message for all of people who supposed to be politically silent should have a message. So I made the I cannot vote. I think last year, and when I was printing it, and there's people coming to check what is it because it just looked like the original design, and we just copied everything of the original design, the font.
Mhm.
Um, and I remember Michael, who is another person in our collective, he came up to me and says, "Oh, this is brilliant." He's like, "I don't vote though." He says, "It's not I can't vote, it's I don't vote." And I was like, cool. um, and this year, it's getting more, about the election voting. Um, it's basically everywhere, especially where in like California, you can see everything about vote on your phone, your social media, on Google front page. You can see like people should go encouraged to vote to express their political voices, but still a lot of people cannot vote. Um, Also at the beginning, my intention of making the I can't vote sticker, not only me myself as an international student that time, and also there's a person, um, they're like being the US, they're seeking US asylum for over 20 years. So they kind of have a green card permit to work thing, but it's not a permanent green card thing. And they still cannot vote. And it's been 20 years after sought asylum. And I was thinking like, wow, this is so strict about the asylum seeker immigration processing. It's just so strict and it doesn't make sense at all. Like thinking about you being devoting like 20 years of your life into this country, and you still cannot be granted the citizenship, and you still cannot like practice your what you deserve to have, like vote. That's just a basic thing that a lot more people should be granted with. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
So I cannot vote, it's sort of opposition to the I voted, and it's also like my a thing in my work, which is sort of response, that I see something that I respond to with something. And this year, with the upcoming election, I just ask people in my collective to write their personal message about voting rights. And here we have all of these.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fantastic. Um, yeah. One thing I was thinking about is maybe you've seen this too. There's like this conversation on social media, I guess, that says, well, why should I vote? Because,
Oh,
the candidates are so bad, and there's all kinds of issues that don't seem to be, we vote every, you can vote every year, sometimes multiple times per year, if you're capable of voting. But what, I guess I would ask, what else does voting do? What is there to be gained by voting aside from just putting a politician into a seat? What else
I
do you
feel
think
like
that means I voted?
I feel like voting is a thing that you're taking responsible for your political choices, and you're taking responsible of sort of the other people's choices as well, since democracy is a system that sort of generalize decision making.
Yeah.
So it's really crucial, especially like we can see during the election process, all of the we can looking at all of the counting of the swing states.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, not it's probably in California. I mean, if everybody have the opinion like, okay, my vote doesn't matter, then everybody stop voting, it's gonna be horrible, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, maybe in align with this, we have the images up. Like, I love this USA Ahead. It's almost like USA under construction, or
Uh-huh.
the future is under construction.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, could you speak to that and maybe also walk us through some of the other stickers?
So USA Ahead, it's a sticker, it's a message by Jessie So, and her idea was like, when you see in construction sign, you're probably thinking, oh, we should be yielding, we should be stopped, we should be cautious about what's happened in the future. In USA, as a country that full of immigrants, and as a full of immigrants, and also American dream catcher, that's how I call it. And we should be cautious if it's the real American dream or not.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the idea. And I feel like if making this not only a sticker but actually to a sign, that would be great.
I love that. I love that idea. Or one of
Mhm.
those flashing
Oh
devices
yeah.
on the side of the road. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
And what
Yeah.
about I hope for those of us who can't, I hope to fight for those of us who are silenced, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Um,
who did that sticker?
who did that sticker?
Yeah, the I hope for the one that says I hope you voted.
Oh,
Left.
I don't know that sticker design. Also, at the beginning that I was designing those sticker, I didn't thinking like they're unnecessary like a fine art thing.
Mhm.
I was thinking it's just a really good way to letting people know that what are we being experiencing, well, other people being experiencing, except the majority.
Mhm.
And it's a very efficient way of like passing through messages.
Mhm.
um, I remember when I was distributing the I Can Vote, and there's people like tagging me on Instagram, like say, "Oh, I got you a sticker," and that's a lot of
Yeah,
fun,
great.
you know.
And also wearing it, right? And in this idea of a label or a name tag or something.
Mm-hmm.
It,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's on my car and it's on my computer. Yes.
Yeah, I wonder, I think this piece really works nicely with some of the others from the larger
Mm-hmm.
project. And one of the questions that came up in the barbarians part of the project, the sort of social practice piece, was do we live in a democracy?
Uh,
So I wanted to pose that question to you too, since I feel like that's
uh,
part of this.
I don't know how to say Dewey living the democracy. I don't know. Um, so I was a international relation major in my undergrad. So but I still feel very hard to define the term democracy, and how democratic it is, like on a level of you know, democratic linear chart thing. Um, but I feel like democracy, it's not that democratic in general. So that's why my next project, it's so our artist collective, we are, I mean, I'm the curator, so we're gonna make a ballot, we're gonna make our own proposition, and I gonna do cyanotype toilet paper, yes,
Yeah.
contain those proposition that, you know, because um I feel like each person, like each individual's ideas, each individual's opinion, into each individual's demands, that as a citizen, like the government should be responsible to respond to that. I'm not only in thinking about the definition of this current citizen, especially in the United States, how like citizenship is defined. It's, born in the U.S. continent, you're just naturally a citizen. But if you are born in China and if you're born in Japan, you cannot naturalize becoming a citizen of China or Japan. That's a different thing. So I mean, those are really like lawfully defined like definition of citizen. Um, so I feel like that there's a tension, there's a thing between citizen and government, that citizens should asking more, because government, it's behaving, it's like administrating on the behalf of the citizen to the citizen's country. So I feel like the government should be either paying more attention to more minorities, um, and also, since we have a really fucked up government for 4 years, I hope there's still be a better scenario. But okay, one of my friends, she said, on the day that Biden announced he's winning the election, she says, okay, she's being very not optimistic at all. She says she hope it's not gonna be the best day within this 4 years.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, that's great. It's interesting because I think, one of the things you're pointing to is that uh, the feeling of political change or of the ground moving beneath our feet can be exhilarating, right? And so there's a kind of affective dimension to politics that doesn't, we see it in the spectacle of the news, but we can also feel it, right, at these particular moments and going out in public space, right? Crowds cheering last Saturday or whatever when the election was called. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I was also thinking there was another part of this. Oh, that in the context of this kind of fascist government we've been living with for the last 4 years, the whole premise of voting and more than voting, of democracy really, comes forward. And so I think many people in the United States, especially people who have been able to vote, right, people who haven't been incarcerated, people who are over 18, people who don't have those impediments, maybe haven't been, as it were, forced to consider these issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember in California, proposition just passed to allow felons to vote, right? Yeah, this year. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
that's a good progress.
enfranchisement. And in 2018 in Florida and Virginia, they passed these, and it just goes to show, and completely transform. It has a potential to completely transform what those states, how those state governments are.
Mm-hmm.
Really shows that many of the people who are most affected by government policy essentially have no political voice at all. Right?
True, very much true.
So tell me about these pieces here.
Um, okay, this three, I kind of see them as a whole message, and they were, of course, the design of the sticker. It's from this year's San Francisco voting stickers. Um, so at the beginning, Irene, she brought up with liberty and justice for some, and I put it up there as a sort of, you know, thing for our the bear and the gay poster at the beginning. Then look at the other. I feel like there's something missing, so I just wrote the message by myself, like you voted, I vote, like with a question mark, which indicating, oh, am I one of you guys? Am I eligible? You know?
Right. Right. I mean, yeah, exactly. About the also, I feel like this project should be everywhere in democratic society, right? And everywhere in the United States in particular, every town, every municipality should have unofficial non-citizen voting
Oh
stations.
yes. Yeah. We are actually inviting one of the artists. Her name is Aram Ham. She's a I think she's a Korean American, and she's collaborating with Southern Exposure this year, and they are actually been doing this sort of. So this year they were just sending out unofficial ballots to people who cannot vote, and gonna collecting them back. I mean, they probably didn't think about setting up a voting station because of COVID concern. I mean, Southern Exposure is a pretty big NGO, yes, but definitely I see lights of, you know, there's people been fighting for this. I mean, I've been fighting for this, and there's people been fighting for this. That's great. And also, if non-citizen can participate in a different way, that's great too.
Yeah, great.
Yet at the beginning, I was thinking of doing projections of this sticker onto public spaces,
Mhm.
like especially federal buildings. And there's some technical issue with the projection and what photo battery should we get?
Yeah.
So it didn't happen.
Well,
Yes.
it'll be interesting to see how this develops over the next election
Next,
cycles.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, I will be curious to see what's gonna happen before. Oh, what's happen gonna be in the next 4 years? I don't know. I don't want to think.
Yeah. It also
Mhm.
seems like we're living in this extended interregnum. The election is ongoing, right? In a sense, because of course Trump has, refused to concede and so
That's
forth. So
so
like there's
weird.
no peace. Yeah.
That's just so weird. I don't know, like how. I don't know how he get elected. That's still my question.
Yeah.
Like how. I have no idea how can a person like this like can be elected. Like
Yeah. Yeah, he totally is like the opposite of democracy in every sense, right? He's this awful, churlish tyrant who wants to destroy what's left of our democratic institution.
Mhm.
Um, so I have maybe one more kind of question for you, and that is more of a practical question about going about this work and other collaborative art activities in this time of social distancing. And if you could just share some of that experience.
Mm, I mean, I feel like it actually doesn't affect us that much, and because we were like we have 7 people in our collective, and one person locates in Texas now, and the other people that we are all in Bay Area, but we cannot like drive like every weekend to meet up each other. That's a bit hard. So, you know, using Zoom, I feel like it's very convenient. Right now, I'm sort of like adapting the Zoom because I'm really been thinking it doesn't make it weird. I'm thinking, oh, it's really, really convenient. I don't have to drive up to meet somebody, you
Yeah.
know. So that kind of it's an excuse for, you know, this bitterly adapting of Zoom, because I remember at the beginning I was like, oh my God, every time after I sit in front of my computer, I just want to, oh,
Yeah.
you know, I feel depressed, especially in the classroom. But in the classroom, it's like different. While I was finishing my like last month of MFA, you know, and you're like, okay, no MFA show, you're like, no real classes, no studio as that's a different thing. But right now, um, So I've been sort of adapting to not have access with printer, like printer,
Yeah.
because I was a photographer and I work a lot with image. I collage and I rephotograph things. Then I realized, okay, I don't have a printer anymore, so I cannot produce work mostly. So I've been sort of um, moving my practice from like 2D work to more 3D based work. Um, I think our collective, we do have, for instance, I was making a film with Irene for screen printing, and she don't have access to a film printed like printer anymore. And she just used her home use printer and actually put oil on the paper. So the part that with ink cannot be go through with light, just work as a normal film. So it actually working, just work. We need to explore what is working and what is not working. It takes more time, definitely, I have to say.
Yeah. Good. Well, what else? Are there other slides in this series? No, that's it. Well, do you have anything else that you want to share about this project? Or we talked a little bit about next steps, but this would be good.
I think that's it. Just let it, not set it aside, but just let's see how it gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward for the projection the federal building though, because
Yeah.
recently on social media I follow a Bay Area activist. So he's basically making like big projection on buildings. And I was gonna slide into his DM and asking what technical thing you did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sounds like a great project. I love the projections. And also thinking about, I mean, this is related to one of the other pieces in the series, but you know, urban space, right? And the city as being this site of democracy. Well, how can we utilize that, or how can we
Mm-hmm.
exploit that
Yeah,
even?
it's a public space. It's a big public space for sure. Mm-hmm.
Good. Well, thank you so much, Jasmine, for speaking with me. I love this project, and congratulations. I think it's you know, really wonderful, and looking forward to the next things
Yeah,
that
my toilet paper ballot.
the toilet paper ballots, right? The cyanotype TP.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.